Hello, everyone. How you all doing today? Hello, everyone. How you all doing today? It's your girl Lauren Mathis with Sex Functions and Petals. Welcome back to my channel. And my my story time, pillow talk conversations, and where we talk about relationships, love, marriage enrichment, and sex. Today, I have been summoned to do an emergency pillow talk conversations with you all. And the topic, as you all can see, is the art of love and war, how to rebuild Black love between our men and women. And this topic stems from, what comes from, um, a post that I reposted yesterday. What was yesterday? Sorry, no, it wasn't yesterday. It was June 20th, Saturday. A post that I had reposted in my group, in my Sex Potions and Petals group on Facebook, where a woman had tweeted, we as Black women have been, we're battling three wars. We're battling COVID-19 pandemic, racism, and also our Black men. And so I reposted it on my group page and I asked the women, and I also posted it on my public page. And I asked both men and women, was it true? And how do we come together, heal, fix our issues, and rebuild Black love? So, and I got quite a response back to some men and women. And I wanted to read a couple of some of the responses from men and women. Of course, all of the women kept saying, yes, it's true. And I asked, well, why do you think that's true? And they said, well, we think it's true because some of our men has left us, with the sole responsibility of taking care of our families, and we're left to bear the brunt of it all. Bills, children, learning, just life instead of and we're left as being single mothers. And so some men on my page, they said that they was kind of taken aback, and but then they were brave enough to share us some of the things and how they feel, and also it started a conversation with me and my husband. And so I thought I would, and my inbox was filling up as well, because some men, they just didn't feel comfortable, which is understanding. They didn't feel comfortable with having this topic online, and so they inboxed me. And so I'm going to share a couple, and then I'm going to leave the question open for you all. And I'm also going to also read my post of what I said. And so I said, this morning I posted about a woman being at war with the pandemic racism in our men in my group, Sex Posts and Petals. I wanted to open the discussion for all to talk about Black Lives Matter. For Black Lives Matter month. I wanted to hear from both men and women. Let's talk about the pain, heal each other, talk about solutions to talk about solutions to rebuild Black love and the Black family unit. Men, now more than ever, we need you to speak up. We need to hear from you, hear your voice. Let's have a conversation about rebuilding Black love and the Black nation. And so I had um, some men. One man has said the earlier post was horrific during this time. During this time, like now, he said, I'm not even gonna lie. I felt it was unnecessary, but again, it's just my opinion. He said, um, I feel like black women only I feel like black women only stateside only value in us after we are being hunted down by like this by the police. He said her post took completely away from what black men experience, even though we have been we have seen black women experience the same fate within the past few years. It just came off wrong. Here's my comment. Good afternoon. Thank you for speaking up. I want you and all black men to know that we love you and we see you before you have any situation with the police or the outside world. As a black woman, I can tell you myself that I love black men and I will always love black men. I want you all to understand that you are valuable gods, who you are, and you all are powerful in your own way. We love you and we support you. We uplift you and we need you in any and every way. You are our divine balance. There's no us without you. I posted this earlier because I wanted us to have an open conversation, and I wanted both men and women to have a safe place. I mean, safe a space to speak and talk about our issues, to come to each other and heal. We are all focused, as we are all focusing now on rebuilding a nation, but we all need to understand that in order to build any house, any community, any business, any government, any nation, we must start with the foundation of the relationship between the black man and the black woman. We are the original Adam and Eve. We are gods and goddesses. Let's start with us first. And so then there were other comments, and a lot of comments with which the common denominator is the men feel pressure. And so I asked my husband, because my husband, we've been married today, it's 13 years, and I had asked him, did he ever feel any pressure with us in our union as far as being together and how our relationship works? And he explained to me, he said, no. He said, but you have to understand what, relationships are different now. He said everybody is stuck on this reality TV fantasy where everybody want a get rich quick scheme on how to build each other up. And some women, they're only looking at the purse, the purse, the shoes, the fancy cars and the materialistic things, instead of working to build a marriage and a union, in a community. And we need to sit back and really look at the whole situation and say that is fake. And we need to really understand what it takes to build a relationship and to build a nation out of love in a community. So um, that was my husband's viewpoint. And here is mine. We all have to understand where the whole relationship concept, well, the whole breakdown of the relationship comes from. I asked the young woman, I said, can you tell me where you think the breakdown come from? She said, yes, when the independent woman rose up. I said, well, why do you feel that way? And so she said, well, when welfare came about and we were getting assistance from the government, um, the men felt as if they didn't need us anymore. And, they left us by ourselves to raise our kids. So we had to be independent as a survival mode. And now, we're on this boss chick, I don't need a man uh, issue in our community. And so I said, I said, okay, well, do you know where that came from? So she said, yeah. She said, I don't, she said, yeah, it came from when the government came inside of our homes. So me and her, we got to talking. And I had explained to her, I said, well, let me break it down to you. I said, our people has been in this country for over now 400, well, in August, it'll be 401 years. Um, we were stolen away from our motherlands and we were separated from our families. And our men and women were both, they suffered together and they were traumatized together. And even in the midst of slavery, our family structures and family dynamics stayed the same. And we stayed together as hard as we could. And even after slavery, we fought long and hard to keep our marriages and our relationships and our love together. And in the midst of being in the United States of America and all the oppression and the struggles that we had to go through, some women, and the government had implemented the welfare system. The welfare system was designed to break us down as people and to break up our families. And they said, okay, ladies, we'll give you an X amount of money and we'll give you food stamps and we'll give you medical assistance and we'll give you housing. But guess what? Your man has to leave the home. Your husband has to leave the home. So our husbands, so some women had chosen to had chosen, hey, I will let the government help me, assist me, with me and my children, and I'll kick my husband out so we can have, you know, so we can survive. And so our black men started to feel devalued, and unappreciative and pushed out. And so some men felt as if, hey, but she got the government, what I need her for. And so unfortunately, our families were torn apart, and um and we lost our foundation. Our foundation and our homes were broken because of this. And you know and that's where the single black mother, uh that's where you start seeing a lot of single black mothers come from, and the deadbeat dad, issues start to come about. And if we all take a look at, we are not at war with each other. We were used as pawns from the government to just, we were used as pawns of the government for their own agenda. Our men are not our enemies, and women are not, we're not our men's enemies. We're both hurting. We're both coming from a place of love, and we're both coming from a place where we need that trauma to be fixed. We need our wounds to be healed. But in order for us to do that, we got to work on ourselves first. And then we also have to work on each other. We have to learn to forgive our men, and we have to learn to forgive. Number one, we have to learn to forgive ourselves. And number two, both have to learn how to forgive each other. And then we need to come together and say, hey, we can't do this without each other. There is no me without you. There's no you without me. We have to stop saying, we have to stop saying, I don't need a man for nothing. Because that's not the case. You need a man to have sex with. You need a man to have children with and create a family with. He's still valued. Me and my husband, we have 7 children. I, as a woman, I am his balance as he is mine. We can't raise a family without one being, without the balance. I cannot teach my sons how to be a man. That's his job. That's my husband's job. My husband can't teach my girls how to be little ladies. That's my job. And my sons, I am supposed to be the example in my home of how a wife is supposed to conduct themselves, how a wife is supposed to treat her husband, and my husband is supposed to, how to, a is supposed to treat their husband, and also vice versa for my girls, how a lady is supposed to be, and how a wife is supposed to be to her husband. And my husband, he is the king, the head of the household, and and he is teaching our children how a man is supposed to not only provide, but how to love, how to honor, how to be loyal to us women, and how a man is supposed to treat our children, how a man is supposed to treat his little, his daughters. We are our children's first role models. In order for us to get anywhere and to get ahead in life, we have to fix the issues that is going on in our community, in our relationships. We can't go any further without loving each other and fixing our foundations and fixing the root of our issues. So how do we get there? How do we do that? How do we heal us as a people? First of all, like I said, we start healing ourselves and forgiving ourselves. Then we start listening and respecting one another. Take the time to really sit down, be quiet, and give that person the chance to speak. We both have to do that for one another. Really listen and hear their concerns, and then come together and say, "Hey, okay, we laid it all out on the table. How are we going to fix this? Our children are watching us. Our children are watching us at this moment. How we go and make it, and how we fix this broken cycle that has been going on for too long. Now is more than ever is the time for us to heal and to love and to embrace each other. Again, we can't build any nation within a nation, and we can't rebuild the black community, and we can't support everything else around us until we start supporting our own selves, until we start forgiving and listening and loving on our own. Men, we need you home. We love you. We adore you. We value you. You are our everything. And ladies, your men love you as well. They need to be shown that they're loved, that they're appreciated, that they're valued more than just a paycheck, more than just a bag. Love is much more than the materialistic things. Love is a spiritual connection. Love is a very powerful vibration that God created to make his land fruitful and multiply. We need each other. So I'm going to end this right now, and I'm going to leave the discussion open for you all. I want to ask men and women, do you think that we're at war with each other? How do we heal? Men, I want you to feel free. Please leave in the comments your opinions, your views. It's very valued. It's very it's very much needed. We need to hear from you too. Please drop down in the comments and tell me how you all feel. I thank you all for tuning in tonight. Peace and blessings. I hope you all have a great night. I'm going to enjoy my anniversary because date night starts for us in 2 hours. Um, and I hope that you all have a blessed evening, but also take the time to let's really get this thing going. How do we heal our nation? How do we fix black love? How do we rebuild from here? So that's the end of tonight. Again, if no one has ever told you that they love you today, remember that I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. And y'all, excuse me. Beach summer dress.